Guys, what if I told you that the reason you're tossing and turning at night, dragging yourself out of bed in the morning, and dealing with, let's call them, performance issues when the moment matters, can be traced back to one tiny amino acid your body is starving for? And what if fixing that could be as simple as taking something before bed that costs less than your daily coffee? I'm Dr. Aria Brooks, and after years of working with men over 50, I've noticed something that keeps coming up over and over again. Men come in with different complaints: poor sleep, low energy, weaker erections, foggy thinking. But when we really dig into what's going on under the surface, there's often one common denominator that almost no one is talking about. Before we go further, drop your age and where you're watching from. It's always powerful to see how many men around the world are on this journey together. And if men's health matters to you, hit like and subscribe. We keep it real here. Today, I'm going to tell you exactly what it is, why taking it specifically at night makes such a big difference, and how to use it properly so you can start feeling like yourself again. And before you click away thinking this is just another miracle cure video, stay with me. This isn't some exotic powder flown in from the Himalayas or a mystery herb from the Amazon rainforest. It's something your body already uses constantly, desperately needs, and probably isn't getting enough of, especially if you're over 50. The research on this is solid enough that even conservative, skeptical doctors are starting to pay attention. The amino acid I'm talking about is glycine. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Glycine? That's it? But hear me out, because this isn't just some random amino acid floating around in your system. Glycine is one of the most important building blocks in your body. It's a core component of collagen. It helps regulate your nervous system. It's involved in detoxification, blood sugar control, and yes, your sleep architecture and nighttime recovery. If you think of your body like a complex machine, glycine is like the quiet, unglamorous part that keeps the whole thing running smoothly in the background. When you don't have enough of it, things don't just slow down, they start breaking down. Here's the problem. Most men over 50 are running on a serious glycine deficit, not just a little low, way below what their body would ideally like to have. Why? A few big reasons. Our grandparents and great-grandparents ate very differently. They used to regularly eat collagen-rich cuts, make stews with bones and skin, drink real broths, and cook with the odd bits of the animal that are naturally loaded with glycine. Today, we mostly eat lean muscle meat and processed foods that are almost completely stripped of it. On top of that, we live with more chronic stress, more toxins, and more inflammation than ever before. Your body uses glycine to make glutathione, your master detox and antioxidant molecule, so the more stress and damage you're dealing with, the more glycine you burn through. And as we age, our own internal production of glycine just isn't as efficient as it used to be. The end result? A slow, steady drain that most men never see coming. The symptoms of low glycine read like a checklist of what men over 50 complain about every single day: stiff, achy joints that don't loosen up, trouble falling asleep or staying asleep, waking up at 2 or 3 a.m. and staring at the ceiling, persistent fatigue, weaker, less reliable erections, feeling more anxious, more on edge, more wired but tired. When you put it all together, it's actually pretty shocking. And before we move on, I want to quickly mention something I created that fits perfectly with what we're talking about. It's called the All-in-One Men's Vitality and Intimacy Blueprint, a step-by-step guide for men over 50 who want deeper sleep, stronger performance, better testosterone, and real confidence again. Inside, I share the same strategies I use with my own patients to improve circulation, energy, and intimacy naturally. The link is in the description and pinned comment if you're ready to take this to the next level. But here's what makes glycine special, and why I'm making an entire video about taking it at night. Glycine doesn't just patch one problem. It helps your body function better at a foundational level. It's like upgrading the operating system of your body instead of installing a bunch of clunky add-on programs. Let me walk you through what glycine is actually doing inside you, because once you understand this, everything about take this at night for potency and deep sleep will make perfect sense. First, glycine is one of your body's master calming signals. It works as an inhibitory neurotransmitter, meaning it helps your brain and nervous system shift out of fight or flight and into rest and restore. Without enough glycine, it's like trying to hit the brakes with worn-out brake pads. You can want to relax, but your system doesn't fully respond. Now here's where it gets really interesting for men over 50. Glycine plays a big role in helping you get into deeper, more restorative sleep, the exact window where your body naturally pulses out testosterone and repairs your tissues. When your sleep is shallow and fragmented, testosterone production takes a massive hit. When your sleep is deeper and more stable, your hormonal environment improves. So no, glycine isn't synthetic testosterone, but by improving the quality of your sleep and lowering nighttime stress signals, it creates the conditions for your body to make and use testosterone much more effectively. Think of it as upgrading the factory, not just pouring more product onto a broken conveyor belt. On top of that, glycine has a powerful effect on your circulation and blood vessels. It's a key building block for collagen, which makes up the structure of your arteries, veins, and capillaries. When you have enough glycine, those vessels stay more flexible and resilient. When you don't, they gradually stiffen and lose that healthy, dynamic responsiveness. Better vessel health means better blood flow. And better blood flow, especially at night and in the early morning hours, is absolutely critical for firm, dependable erections. You've probably heard of drugs that work on nitric oxide to improve blood flow. Glycine doesn't work like a drug, but it supports the underlying endothelial health and nitric oxide, signaling that those medications are trying to manipulate. In other words, you're helping your own body do what it was designed to do in the first place. Now let's talk about sleep, because this is where taking glycine at night becomes almost unfairly effective. When you take glycine before bed, it helps lower your core body temperature just enough to make it easier to fall asleep and stay asleep. It nudges your nervous system toward the parasympathetic state, that rest and digest mode, and it interacts with the same calming chemical pathways in your brain that help quiet mental chatter. Your muscles let go of some of their tension. Your mind stops spinning through to-do lists and worries as aggressively. You're able to drop into that deeper, more restorative kind of sleep your body has been craving for years. And here's the beautiful part. Your testosterone production and a big chunk of your vascular repair happen during those deepest stages of sleep, especially in those first few nighttime cycles. So by improving your sleep with glycine, you're indirectly but powerfully improving both your hormones and your circulation. Here's something that blew my mind when I first started digging into the research. Glycine is required for your body to make glutathione, that master antioxidant I mentioned, and it also plays a role in creatine synthesis and collagen production. All of those are intimately tied to your energy production at the cellular level. Every cell in your body, from your brain to your heart to the smooth muscle in your blood vessels, depends on this machinery. When you're low in glycine, it's like your repair crews are understaffed and undersupplied. Things still work, but they work at half capacity. When you restore glycine, suddenly those crews have the tools and materials they need again. This is why a lot of guys who start taking glycine at night report something surprising. They wake up feeling more energized and clear-headed without that jittery, stimulant feeling. It's not like having 3 coffees. It's more like someone finally changed the batteries after years of running on low power. And that extra energy isn't just about feeling less tired. When you have better cellular energy and less oxidative stress, everything works better. Your muscles recover faster when you exercise. Your brain fog starts to lift. Your motivation and drive come back online. Your mood stabilizes because your brain has what it needs to produce and balance your neurotransmitters. Now you might be wondering, if glycine can help with energy and performance, why take it at night? Isn't that backwards? It seems counterintuitive at first, but here's the key. Glycine doesn't give you stimulating energy like caffeine. It helps your body create efficient energy by improving sleep, repair, and cellular function. During the day, your body uses that efficiency to move, think, and work. At night, it uses it to restore, rebuild, and recalibrate. It's like giving your body better tools. The tools don't force you to use them in a particular way. They just make every job you do more effective. Now, not all ways of getting glycine are created equal, and this is where a lot of guys get confused or miss out. Some try to rely on collagen alone or assume they're getting enough from a basic diet and then wonder why they don't feel much different. To really use glycine as a precise nighttime tool for potency and sleep, you want it in a form that's easy to absorb and easy to dose consistently. For most men, that means either pure glycine powder or a quality capsule supplement where you know how many grams you're taking. I like powder because it dissolves easily in water, it has a naturally slightly sweet taste, and it allows you to adjust the amount very precisely. Capsules work fine too. They're just a bit less flexible when you're trying to find your personal sweet spot. The amount matters as well. Most men do really well with somewhere between 3 to 5 grams of glycine taken about an hour before bed. That's 3,000 to 5,000 milligrams, quite a bit more than the amounts you'd see on a typical generic multivitamin label. If you've never taken glycine before, I'd suggest starting at around 2 grams for the first few nights to see how your body responds, then gradually working your way up into that 3 to 5 gram range. Think of it as easing your nervous system into a new routine instead of slamming it with a huge change on night one. Taking it with a very small snack can help as well, something like a few nuts, some yogurt, or a small piece of cheese. You don't want a big, heavy meal right before bed, but a bit of fat and protein can make the routine feel satisfying and help your body absorb and use what you're giving it. Here's a pro tip almost no one talks about. Glycine pairs beautifully with a gentle dose of magnesium, especially magnesium glycinate if you're using that as well. Magnesium helps relax your muscles and support over 300 enzyme systems. Glycine helps calm your brain, support your collagen, and deepen your sleep. Together, they create a whole body, it's time to power down and repair signal that is incredibly effective for men over 50. Some men ask about just getting glycine from food, bone broths, gelatin, long-simmered soups, and those can absolutely help, especially over the long term. The problem is, it's very hard to know how much glycine you're actually getting from those sources, and you'd have to be extremely consistent to hit that 3-5 gram nighttime dose. That's why, for targeted benefits like sleep and nighttime performance, I prefer using a measured supplement at night and then using food sources like collagen-rich meals, broths, or gelatin as a supportive background. Now, let's talk about the ways guys accidentally sabotage this and then think glycine doesn't work. The first big one is mixing glycine into a giant sugary dessert or heavy late-night snack and then blaming the glycine for poor sleep. If you're pounding ice cream, cookies, or a big bowl of cereal before bed, the blood sugar spike and crash will fight against what glycine is trying to do. Another big mistake is drinking alcohol late at night, thinking it helps you unwind and then adding glycine on top. Alcohol destroys sleep quality, fragments your deep sleep, and creates more oxidative stress and inflammation, which actually increases your need for glycine. It's like trying to refill a tank while someone's drilling holes in the bottom. If you're going to drink, do it earlier in the evening, keep it moderate, and don't pretend it's a sleep aid. Let your system clear it before your glycine window. Late night screen time is another huge one. The blue light from phones, tablets, and TVs tells your brain it's still daytime. So even if you've taken glycine, your nervous system is getting mixed messages. At the very least, use night mode or blue light filters, and ideally give yourself 30-60 minutes of low-tech time before bed. Read, stretch, breathe. Let the glycine do its job. Some guys also take way too much glycine too quickly, feel a little odd, and then quit. Start low, go slow. Let your body adjust. If you feel a bit too drowsy, back off the dose slightly or take it a bit earlier in the evening. And here's a subtle one: ignoring the rest of your diet. Glycine works in synergy with other nutrients, proteins, healthy fat, minerals. If you're barely eating any protein during the day, living on processed carbohydrates, and skimping on micronutrients, you're putting a lot of pressure on one amino acid to fix everything. It can help a lot, but you'll get the best results when glycine is part of an overall more supportive routine. What's fascinating is the cascade of benefits men report once they've been consistent with glycine for a few weeks. Things they weren't even trying to fix start improving. For some, joint stiffness that's been nagging them for years eases up because the collagen in their connective tissue is finally getting the building blocks it needs. Others notice their blood pressure dropping a few points. That annoying little twitch in the eyelid or face that shows up when they're stressed often fades away. I've had men tell me their dentist commented on their gums and oral health looking better. That makes sense because your gums and the tiny blood vessels in your mouth are also rich in collagen. Several of my patients have told me their partners noticed before they did. Snoring eases up or stops entirely because they're sleeping more deeply and their airway muscles aren't seizing up in the same way. One man's wife actually came in with him to say thank you because she was finally sleeping through the night for the first time in years. And yes, she'd noticed his morning performance had made a comeback too. Athletic performance and everyday physical ability are another unexpected benefit. Glycine helps support muscle recovery, tendon and ligament health, and overall tissue repair. Men who golf tell me their swing feels smoother and their body doesn't feel wrecked the next day. Runners report better times and less soreness afterwards. Even guys who just do yard work or home projects notice they're not hobbling around the house the next day like they used to. Mental clarity and mood improvements often catch people off guard as well. Because glycine supports both brain calming and glutathione production, happen, the brain starts functioning more efficiently. Anxiety eases off, focus sharpens, and that low-grade irritability that a lot of men chalk up to just getting older starts to fade. You're not just sleeping longer, you're sleeping better, and your brain is actually repairing itself at night. Here's what it really comes down to. Glycine insufficiency is incredibly common in men over 50, and it quietly makes almost every age-related challenge worse. Poor sleep, low energy, weaker erections, higher stress, stiffer joint, they're all connected, and they're all amplified when your body doesn't have enough glycine to do its nightly repair work. Taking glycine before bed isn't just about drifting off more easily, although that alone would make it worth it for a lot of men. It's about giving your body what it needs to support testosterone production, improve circulation, generate clean energy, repair tissue, and calm the nervous system. It's about breaking the vicious cycle of poor sleep leading to lower testosterone, leading to worse performance, leading to more stress, leading to even worse sleep. For less than $1 a day, you can potentially transform how you feel, how you sleep, and how you perform. Not through some exotic treatment or risky prescription, but by simply replacing an amino acid your body has been quietly crying out for. So here's my challenge to you. Get yourself a quality glycine supplement, ideally a pure powder from a reputable brand. Tonight, take about 3 grams an hour before bed. Do that consistently for 30 days. Pay attention to how you feel, how you sleep, and how you perform, both in your daily life and in those private moments that matter. Most men are genuinely amazed at the difference, not just in their sleep, but in their overall quality of life. If this resonated with you, hit subscribe for more practical, science-based health advice for men over 50. Drop a comment about your experience with sleep issues or nighttime performance, or if you've ever tried glycine before. And share this with a friend who keeps saying he's just tired all the time or that part of life is over, because it might not be over at all. He might just be missing something simple. Remember, your best years are not automatically behind you. Often your body just needs the right support at the right time of day to remind you how good you're still capable of feeling. Tonight, give it that support. Your tomorrow morning self will thank you. Before we wrap up, I want to share something a lot of my viewers ask me: what natural supplements actually deliver results for men's health? After looking at the research and testing what really works, I've narrowed it down to 4 essentials. 1 for stronger erections, 1 for stamina and performance, 1 for testosterone balance, and 1 for prostate comfort. These are all natural formulas backed by science, carefully selected to work together for maximum result. I've linked them below in the description and pinned comment. Check them out and see how they can help you feel your absolute best. I'm Dr. Aria Brooks, and I'll see you in the next video.